Andre Ward wins a 12-round unanimous decision over Alexander Brand. The fight was a shutout. All three judges scored every single round to Andre Ward. Now, this was the first time I'd actually ever seen Alexander Brand fight, I have to confess. I did look at his box rec a few weeks back when his fight was announced, and I saw that he had a split decision loss to Badou Jack, which is the only name that I recognized on his record. After watching him against Andre Ward, I can now understand how he managed to battle to a close decision loss to Badou Jack, because Alexander Brand is extremely awkward. Let that be said. Apparently Brand had 300 or 400 amateur fights, which is pretty surprising given how horrible his technique looks in the ring. He looks very, very awkward and novice-y at times, let's be real. But sometimes you get fighters like that. For example, Saki Obika was an Olympian. He was in the Olympics. He had a pretty extensive amateur career, Saki Obika. But yet you look at his technique and it's absolutely horrible. You got 8-year-old kids in the gym, 8-year-old amateur kids who've got better technique than Saki Obika. I mean, even Marcus Maidana, particularly earlier on in his career, was very awkward, wild, sloppy. But yet Marcus Maidana had an extensive amateur career. There are certain fighters who, for whatever reason, maybe it's the way their bodies are configured, maybe it's the way their brains are wired, there are certain fighters who can't really learn correct, polished technique for whatever reason. So Alexander Brand is one of those kind of guys. He made himself awkward. He was surviving for the most part. He was just trying to make Andre Ward miss and stay out of trouble. Ward started the fight very slowly. He gradually warmed his way into it. He wanted to have a look at Brand for the first couple rounds and see what he was dealing with. Brand managed to catch him with 1 or 2 shots in the early part of the fight, but, you know, nothing special, nothing that knocked Ward's head back or anything like that. Just little surprise shots that clipped Ward a little bit. But, yeah, once the 4th, 5th round got underway, then it was plain sailing, really, if you're on Andre Ward. Ward turned southpaw in a few rounds in the fight in an attempt to try and land a big left hand. Even though Ward's had this operation on his right shoulder, his favorite power shot is still with the left hand. He's still not favoring the right hand in terms of power punches. So perhaps that right shoulder will never really be 100%, or perhaps he's so used to using his left hand for, you know, because of the right hand being out of commission for so long, that it just seems natural to him to rely on his left hand more than his right. I don't know, but I do remember in the Paul Smith fight, Ward was throwing a hell of a lot of right hands, but since that fight, he hasn't really been anywhere near as active with the right hand as he was in that fight. So I don't know, maybe there is still some type of issue there with the right shoulder. And as I say, he turned southpaw. He was looking to try and land big left hands. He did land a few big left hands on Alexander Brand, but Andre Ward's not a big puncher. We all know that. We all know that the majority of his fights go the distance, and we expect the majority of his fights to go the distance. Some people, because of the fact that they haven't heard of Alexander Brand before, will be disappointed that Andre Ward didn't dispatch of this guy and knock him out. Personally, I don't really see any relevance. Andre Ward is never going to be a big puncher. He's a technical guy. He's a guy who thinks about how to not get hit first before then, you know, and he uses that as his foundation to spring off and launch his own attacks. He's very offensively conservative, Andre Ward, and he's always going to be that way. Will what he has be enough against Sergey Kovalev? For the longest time, I've been leaning towards Kovalev beating Andre Ward, and I still stand by that. I think Kovalev will win the fight, but of course, Andre Ward could win it. You know, I'm certainly not counting Ward out. I give him a decent shot. I just feel Kovalev is not a master boxer or anything like that, but I think he's competent enough at boxing, and his jab is good enough. Kovalev's jab is very, very strong. It's a shot that damages you when he hits you with it. So you don't even want to stand in the way when Kovalev is jabbing. When Ward is fighting people like Alexander Brand, or when he's fighting somebody like Sullivan Barrera, those are the kind of guys who you can afford to get hit with a few jabs. I mean, Ward don't like to get hit with anything, but in those fights, yeah, he got, especially in the Barrera fight, he got touched with a jab a few times. You can afford to do that against Sullivan Barrera. You can't afford to do that against Kovalev. He's hurting you. He's stabbing you with that jab. So I'll be fascinated to see how Andre Ward approaches the Kovalev fight. Will he start as slowly as he did against Brand, warming himself into it? One thing as well in this fight with Brand is that Ward didn't really show much of his inside game in this fight. He didn't seem significantly stronger than Alexander Brand on the inside, which to me that was surprising, given the fact that Brand is actually a smaller man than Ward. I mean, you could see there was a size difference in there. Brand is nearly 40 years old, and I didn't see that kind of physicality that I would have wanted to see from Andre Ward. If you saw Andre Ward back down at super middleweight, it was noticeable that he was physically stronger than people like Carl Froch and Kessler and these guys on the inside. He was able to bully them, push them back, get them on the ropes, get left hooks off. Against Brand, yes, he was pushing Brand back for the majority of the fight, but on the inside, as I say, I just didn't see the kind of strength from Ward that I'm accustomed to seeing from him. He'll need that strength on the inside against Sergey Kovalev. That's why I bring it up. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how Ward's going to approach the fight with Kovalev. He's going to need to, we know he's defensively good, but how is he going to stay away from Kovalev's jab and at the same time be able to establish his own offense and, hit Kovalev with stuff? I can't see. I don't know. I mean, Kovalev was pretty offensively conservative himself in the Bernard Hopkins fight, and I guess Hopkins stylistically is the closest thing to Andre Ward that Sergey Kovalev has faced as a professional. So maybe Ward's movement, Ward's defensive posture might discourage Kovalev from throwing punches, perhaps because Kovalev knows Ward is such a cerebral boxer, such a chess player. That'll be enough to keep Kovalev honest. But I don't know, man. I doubt it somehow. I think Kovalev will go with that jab. He'll stab to the body. He'll look for the right hand. And I just think Ward's going to have to come to the inside to be able to keep Kovalev off of him. He's going to have to mess Kovalev around. He won't be able to box in the middle of the ring with Kovalev, I don't think anyway. Because Kovalev's too powerful. The jab is too hard. So he's going to have to try and, move around on the outside, make Kovalev miss, and then jump inside, rough Kovalev up, get left hooks off, and then get out again. I think that's the kind of strategy that he will have to go for. Maybe he will surprise me with something and do, something totally different. But that's the only strategy in my head which I could see working for Andre Ward. Just stay the hell away, run around the ring, and then make Kovalev miss, then jump in, get on the inside, push Kovalev to the ropes, make it ugly, land those left hooks to the body, left hooks to the head, push Kovalev off balance, get out again. Similar to how he fought Carl Froch, but a little more defensive and with a bit more movement on the outside. So, yeah, anyway, the Brand fight was what it was. It was pretty much a sparring session. Ward tried to do what he tried to do. Landed a few shots here and there, but he's no big puncher, so he's not going to knock nobody out. Let me know what you felt about his performance. Were you disappointed? Did you expect him to knock Alexander Brand out? And it's one of them kind of situations where, Brand has never been knocked out as a professional. He's obviously very awkward, and Andre Ward's not a big puncher, so I don't think anybody should be shocked that Ward didn't knock him out. Badou Jack didn't knock him out. And Badou Jack is a champion at 168 pounds, so, it is what it is. If it was Kovalev fighting Alexander Brand, then yeah, you probably would expect Kovalev to knock him out, because Kovalev is a puncher. Same with Stevenson. You would expect them guys to take him out. But with Ward, I got what I expected, really. So, yeah, let me know how you feel in the comment section below, people. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.